It was 30 years ago tonight, a night I will always remember, when the Berlin Wall came down and thousands of East Germans poured across the border to be united with their fellow citizens. It was a process that led to the end of the Soviet Empire. Looking back, it's sometimes hard to believe it happened at all.
Good evening, live from the Berlin Wall on the most historic night in this wall's history.
Suddenly, the most forbidding symbol of the Cold War came tumbling down. No match for people who just wanted the chance to experience true freedom. We were here that week reporting on the growing protests against communist rule, and the hardliners were trying to come up with some kind of a plan that would ease the tension. Late that afternoon, the East German propaganda minister made a fateful mistake. He said those new rules allowing people to leave East Berlin would go into effect immediately.
It is possible for them to go through the wall at some point, presumably.
It is possible for them to go through the border.
But that wasn't the official plan. But it was too late.
The Berlin Wall can no longer contain the East German people.
They simply had had enough of a system of oppression that held them prisoner, trapped behind a wall in another world. The East German secret police, the Stasi, monitored every aspect of their lives. Every one of these files is a citizen, is a human being. In just this one area, 4 miles of files. Roland Jahn, a former East German dissident, maintains the archive to help people understand that dark past. He tells me we can use these records to be more sensitive about what democracy and basic human rights mean for all people. German Chancellor Angela Merkel grew up in East Germany. At the Wall Memorial today, she honored those who lost their lives trying to escape. But for many East Germans, even the passing of 30 years hasn't entirely erased the sense of sudden dislocation.
All of a sudden, people realized for West Germans, nothing has really changed, except it's a bigger country. But for East German people, everything has changed. Every single thing in life has changed.
Far-right political parties now are playing on that feeling of loss, as they have around the globe. But tonight, a time to celebrate and marvel at the power of ordinary people to do extraordinary things. Now, as then.
It's a night to remember.
So, Jose, 30 years later, there is a united Germany, but problems still exist, not just for this country, but for the rest of the world. Because what we did not know that night is that what was to come, 9/11 and the wars in the Middle East that go on to this day.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.